I'm gonna start about 8 grams. I'm gonna start with about 12 grams.
The way I watched it, I was like, no way, that's it.
All right, what kind of things go into product development from the chemist formulation side? I'm Alex, I'm a cosmetic chemist and the co-founder of Educated Mess, and today we have a very special guest with us. Mary, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Mary, and I post a lot about skincare, beauty. I work in product development and product marketing, and I like to call myself the CEO of sunscreen. No one in this world loves sunscreen more than me. My background is a little bit diverse, so I've done a lot of research. Now I'm hoping to be a cosmetic chemist one day, but till then, the PD girl who loves sunscreen.
So you work in product development, but you haven't actually formulated a product, right?
Yes.
It's so much fun. I think you're gonna have a lot of fun today because I always find that formulation is like the perfect blend of art and science.
Literally.
So as you'll see, we're gonna figure out all the emulsifiers that we need to get the oils to stay stable, and at the same time, we're picking ones that are gonna fit the texture that you like. So do you want this to be like kind of a thick, creamy, or do you want it a little lighter?
I'm thinking a gel feel,
Okay.
but like as hydrating as a thick moisturizer.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I have a couple of thickeners that really give that like gel cream texture. Actually, one of my favorites we'll probably use is this thickener Lessie Gel. It is sodium acrylate scopolymer and lecithin. Because of the lecithin, it does emulsify some of the oils, but we're still gonna add some other wax emulsifiers too. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make an emulsion. So,
Yes.
emulsions, guys. Oil and water don't typically mix. An emulsion is a stable mixture of the two using emulsifiers. Which emulsifier we're gonna use is actually gonna depend on some of the texture preferences you have. We're gonna do this formula on the fly. We're throwing it right into it.
I'm so into it.
We're an emulsifier that you think can give like that intense hydration, but also feel light. I'm gonna use this one from the supplier Omya. It's called Emulsium mellifera.
Nice.
This is actually a natural one. It has jojoba esters and cetearyl alcohol. Those are gonna give that conditioning feel. This one's interesting. We're gonna have to homogenize it, so this is gonna require a little extra energy. So we're gonna use the homogenizer, which I know you were so excited for.
I'm so ready.
I love it. I also, though, really like to use, this is a very standard, I think probably every formulation chemist is gonna know what I'm talking about here. This, it's like a blend of glyceryl stearate and PEG 100 stearate. It's such a robust emulsifier. And sometimes with the naturals, I just find that they don't quite hold the emulsions stable for quite as long. Maybe it's just a little more difficult to work with.
Yeah.
So whenever I work with natural emulsifiers like this for the texture, I also like to incorporate just a little bit of the PEG 100 stearate glyceryl stearate blend. I just think that's kind of like a really good backup plan in case something happens. So we'll use a little combination of these two. That with the Lessie Gel should give that really good gel cream, intense nourishment. Do you like ceramides?
I love a ceramide.
Okay, I figured.
Everybody loves ceramides.
Everyone loves ceramides.
Who doesn't?
So ceramides, though, are kind of difficult to formulate with because they can crystallize out. They have to get really hot in the oil phase. I like when suppliers make my job easier, so we're going to use this blend. It has ceramide NP and glycerin and then hydrogenated lecithin to put it into the water phase.
Beautiful.
Does not have issues with recrystallization. We're going to add that in. And then a bunch of different humectants we'll use.
Yay, I love a humectant.
Do you
I
want
love glycerin.
Okay, perfect,
Yes.
perfect. And I also really like this ingredient too. It comes from, I believe, Active Concepts, but I get it on Formulator Sample Shop, which is a repack site. It's acai sterols. It has the phytosterols from acai.
Okay.
Plus, they've added back in like linoleic acid and other essential fatty acids.
Okay.
So that combined with the ceramides, we're gonna get some really good nourishment.
Yeah.
And a lightweight gel cream texture. I'm really excited.
I love this.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, well, let's get started. I'm gonna go write the formula. We'll hope it works.
Okay, period.
All right, so I've got my formula right here. This is our starting point. Since this is our first run, it's gonna get marked up, but that's typically how it starts with my formulas. So, are you ready?
I'm ready to go.
Let's get started.
Period.
Put on our gloves, put on our PPE. Very important.
Feeling like Superman
That's right.
or The Incredibles.
Oh, yeah.
Mask, glove up, or something. Suit up. That's what they
Oh,
say.
yeah. It matches your lab coat, too.
This is super fresh. Your
Love it.
PPE doesn't look this good, everyone.
All right, so like most skincare products, I would say we're gonna start with water. That's gonna carry all the other ingredients. So we're gonna take our big beaker. Now we need to preserve the water phase. We do not like microbes growing in them. Just for the sake of time and because it's easy, I keep parabens stocked in the lab.
Nice.
So they don't cause endocrine disruption.
I was gonna say, I love parabens.
I do
you
too.
love parabens. Why are parabens not bad?
It's so frustrating. It's just the classic example of scientific studies getting taken out of context. Yeah, and so it's just annoying. But parabens, the reason I love them, they go right into the water phase. They're super easy to work with. A very low level is very effective. A lot of the alternatives that brands want you to use just so they can say paraben free are either going to require a solubilizer to go into the water phase clear, or sometimes they'll mess with the emulsion, or they're just not as effective. So I think parabens, bring them back. Oh, you were perfect.
Give me the degree.
That's right.
This is
right.
my lab now.
Now we're gonna just add an additional preservative safeguard, a little bit of disodium EDTA, that is the chelating agent. It can help preserve a formula.
I actually feel like I'm back in the chemist lab. This is so fun.
I love that you're excited.
Oh,
you
so
are
close.
a natural. Okay, so now add that to the water. We're gonna have to heat that. It's gonna take a while to go in, but I wanna go ahead and finish our water phase before we start heating it. So now we're gonna add just some humectants that are gonna help with skin's hydration and then our thickeners. So I've been like kind of obsessed with this ingredient lately. It's glycerol glucoside, so I have a blend of that with glycerin. It's supposed to be really good for water transport throughout the skin. It can help regulate aquaporins and stuff like that. So
Oh, I love that.
yes, I think it goes really well with glycerin. So we're gonna go ahead and add about 2% of this, because she wanted a like gel cream texture. So I love adding a bunch of like water-based humectants and stuff for that intense hydration without making it heavy. So this is a good one. I think that this is gonna be something that we start seeing more of in skincare, glycerol glucoside.
So we're getting ahead of the trends.
That's right, that's right. You're a trendsetter. Okay, so we are gonna start heating this, but first I want to weigh out the thickeners. Because the certain thickeners, we're gonna thicken the product just for the preliminary thickness. We're gonna use a little bit of hyaluronic acid.
Okay.
I think it gives a great slip and texture to a formula. Too high of an amount though, and it starts to pill, so we're gonna go pretty low level.
Okay.
It gives a little bit of viscosity, and then I also wanted to use the Lesogel ingredient, the
Yes.
lecithin and sodium acrylate copolymer. So those ingredients take kind of a long time to hydrate in water. So to make it go a little quicker, we're gonna pre-mix it with glycerin, kind of pre-hydrate it, and then make a slurry, and then we're gonna add that all to the batch. Put it all in the mixer. We're gonna go with the low level of this, like maybe like 0.5%, because we're gonna add this silicone elastomer gel that can also thicken the product too. And it gives this really nice like dry touch texture. So I don't wanna add too much of this so that we have a little room to work with that one at the end if we wanna modify the texture. And then for hyaluronic acid, a lot of people get surprised that it's a powder, but
I knew it was a powder.
you knew it was because you've been to school for this, yeah. I just love the slip that hyaluronic acid can give. It can make something just like feel instantly hydrating because it can trap that water on the surface. So I like using it as a thickener, but I don't like it as like the primary.
Agreed.
humectant.
I feel like I'm also someone who like, I will take glycerin over hyaluronic acid.
Oh, every day.
Every single day, like my preferred humectant. I feel like you also like don't have to be as like low molecular weight, high, like, you know?
Right, it's just
she's
easy.
great from the beginning.
Glycerin's gonna go into skin regardless.
Exactly.
Speaking of, the man of the hour, glycerin.
Period.
We're gonna add, I thought we would do like 10% in this one.
Okay.
When I'm like formulating moisturizer, I'll go like 5% because it's hydrating, but not too sticky because the stuff gets kind of sticky. But we're using a texture modifier at the end that I think is gonna help with that, so.
Great.
So this is what is gonna help pre-hydrate our thickeners. So just make this like cute little. Now we've got these little pre-mixes, so let's go ahead and put our water phase on the hot plate, get it mixing, and then we'll add the thickener.
Okay, great.
Cool. So how we do this? Okay, so we're gonna just put this on your hot plate, and then I'll do the same. Okay, so now we add our slurry. So as it's starting to go in, you're gonna see the batch getting a little thicker, so just adjust the speed of your mixer slightly as needed. I like to make sure there's a slight vortex, but without it looking like it's gonna bubble up. So now we have our water phase heating and the thickeners are getting dispersed. So now we're gonna make our oil phase.
Okay.
I forgot that our ceramides are water soluble because they're combined as ceramide MP with glycerin and hydrogenated lecithin. So we are gonna go ahead and add that in there too, because that has to get really hot.
Okay. Ceramides are sticky. Why am I shocked?
This one, this was like it's in like glycerin too.
Oh, fair.
Okay, so now we're gonna add that to the main.
Okay.
I did forget to tell you, typically when we heat up water in the lab, for me, sometimes it gets hot, you don't wanna have a water loss. So I will typically take like some aluminum foil just for the lab batch. So let's take a little square. I would say make like a tear like halfway. I just do like this and then just kind of like that.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it just does help if some of the water gets lost.
This was not artfully done at all, but you know, baby's first time.
Okay, now we are gonna weigh out all of the oils and emollients that are gonna help provide some nourishment. Also the emulsifiers that are gonna help hold the oil and water in a stable mixture. I thought we would start with some squalene.
Okay.
Like squalene.
Classic.
She also wanted it to be a very lightweight texture.
Yes.
So squalene is very light. It goes right in, but it provides great barrier nourishment. So another emollient that's very lightweight for that like kind of dry texture is C1215 alkyl benzoate. I really like using that one, so we're gonna go 2% of that.
Okay.
When I'm actually making a product for a customer or something, I'm very precise with this kind of stuff, but when I'm just kind of like playing around in the lab or developing a concept, I kind of play around with the numbers, and I always write down exactly what I've put so I can later adjust the percentages. For our last liquid ingredient that we're gonna put in the oil phase, this is one of my favorite actives for like sensitive skin, inflammation, redness, and stuff like that. It's called Simcare O. It comes from Simrise, but it has bisabolol, 4-T-butyl-cyclohexanol, some rapeseed sterols, and like ginger extract, a couple other things too that I don't know how to pronounce. So it's really good at helping relieve sensitive skin conditions. So I think at like 2% is a sweet spot. That ingredient I find is really good in products that are designed for people that are like starting tretinoin and stuff like that too.
Oh, I love that.
I also want to add just a little bit of tocopherol for some antioxidant capacity in the oil phase. Also, vitamin E is great for skin too. So.
Great.
Also, I really like this ingredient. It's kind of sticky, but it contains like acai phytosterols and some essential fatty acids like linoleic acid. So we're gonna add just a small amount of this. I know we don't want to make the moisturizer too heavy, but we've got ceramides. We need some fatty acids in there. That's right.
Yes.
She wants rich hydration with a lightweight texture.
Period. There we go.
And we're gonna add a little cyclopentasiloxane. It's a volatile silicone that gives like a very lightweight texture.
Yes.
And it can help reduce the heaviness of some other emollients. But it has a low flash point, so I typically like to add it once my batch has cooled down to about 50 degrees Celsius. I think 60 degrees is maybe fine too, but we're gonna be heating this because of the waxes, so we're gonna add the cyclopentasiloxane after we add the oil phase.
Right.
Now we're gonna do the waxes. So this was one that we chose, Amulium mellifera. This one gives the coolest texture too. It's like just very nice and beautiful.
I love how these come out.
I know, like the little pellets.
Oh my gosh.
Now we're gonna add that other emulsifier I mentioned that is just like a very robust, never fails me honestly. It's glycerol stearate and PEG 100 stearate. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is heat the oil phase, and once the waxes are melted, we're gonna add them to our main batch once everything is about 70 degrees Celsius. It's gonna kind of look funny because this is kind of how I always do it. I just kind of move it over and let them share the hot plate together. And then just put it there.
Now they're friends.
And now we let it melt. Now that the oils and waxes have melted, we're gonna add those to the water phase, and we're gonna see an emulsion form. So you're gonna take this, and you can just dump it right on in. Perfect, and I'm actually gonna cut my heat off. You can do the same. So with certain natural emulsifiers, I noticed this is more common, including the Amulium mellifera that we're using. You typically have to homogenize them, and that's the piece of equipment that's right there. It's kind of like the difference between stirring something with a spoon, which would be that, versus throwing an immersion blender in there if you cook. So we're gonna do that. We might not even have to because of that other emulsifier we used, but I just want to be safe. There's no harm in doing it. So we're going to take that batch and we're going to throw it on the homogenizer. I'm going to show you guys what happens with that. That just kind of gets the emulsion a little finer particles, so it's going to be a little more stable. So what I have you do is come over here.
Okay.
You're just going to put this under here, like this.
The hot as balls. Oh my god.
I love it.
Made that.
So our batches are now at about 50 degrees Celsius, which means I feel comfortable adding the cyclopentasiloxane. So we're going to go ahead and add some of that to help modulate the texture a bit. I'm actually going to pour this for you because it comes out really fast. It comes quick.
Off we go.
Okay, so now we're going to just add this to our batch while it mixes. There's one more ingredient that I wanted to add for hydration.
Yes.
It's a blend of sugars. It's called a quaxyl. It's like xylitol-glucoside, xylitol, and anoxyxylitol, I believe.
Okay, fine.
It's in a lot of products to help with water retention and stuff like that. It has a really great synergistic effect with glycerin, and it's water-based. Okay, now we're gonna add that to our batch as well. While the batch is cooling, it's going to thicken slightly as some of those waxes are solidifying again, but it's not going to get that much thicker, so I do want to add a little bit of an ingredient to modify the texture, and it also contains a thickener in it. It's called Gelade CPE. Basically, a silicone elastomer with a certain thickener that you can go right into water. It doesn't have to go and add to the oil phase. but the thickener that's in there also can increase the viscosity of your batch. So I love using this as a post-add way of thickening up the batch at the end and making some adjustments. And it just gives a really lovely texture to the formula. You can honestly just add this to water, throw a preservative in, and have a really nice texture. So this has cyclopentasiloxane in it. It also has a dimethicone, vinyl dimethicone cross polymer. And then the thickener in here is hydroxyethyl acrylate, sodium acryl dimethyl taurate copolymer. That does provide some emulsification benefits. That's probably why this goes right into water. And it has a nice texture to it too. So perfect. We are gonna just add a little bit of this now, and then once the batch fully cools down, we'll add a little bit more if you want it to feel a certain way. But yeah, it's a great ingredient. So we are now gonna let that mix and let it cool down all the way, and once it's fully cooled, we'll make the final adjustments, take the pH and all of that. All right, we have pulled the batch off of the mixer. It's good to go, everything is good. How is it?
This is amazing. This is the creme de la creme of moisturizers.
It genuinely has such a nice texture, I love it.
No, it feels amazing.
It's like a nice lightweight gel.
You put it on your skin, and you're like, wow, this is so lightweight, it must feel like nothing. No, your skin gets a kiss of moisture. You don't even need this much. I low-key overdid it. This might be game-changing.
That's right. I will, I'll give you the formula on your way out. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you had so much fun. I hope you guys found this entertaining and a little educational as well. So do come back next week to see what we're making and who we're making it with.
Bye.
Bye. Sweet. Done.
Woo! Okay, period.
Yes.
Yes.
It's down really quick. I think William. So do you want to just like get some just random footage? I guess we might also have another tripod. I was trying to find the water to put the lid on it, and I was like, oh wait, she's got it.
I know, I was like, why isn't my water coming out? Lid was fully on it. Oh, send me back to school. I love how these come out.
I know, like the little pellets.
Oh my gosh, you know people who like eat things? What's it called? Pico? Pica?
What?
Thank you.
What? She wants that thing thick.
Super thick.
It pretty in the face, but she's too thick.
That's literally what was going into my brain. You're gonna have so much to cut out.
So now now that the oil, I would say make like a tear like halfway, like halfway down, like this. Oh, here, you can use this one.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Well, when I'm actually making, you good?
Right? She's always chained up to freedom.
Free my chains.
Oh my girl.
Let's go. All right, so how does it, all right, so how does it feel? You got your, hold on, we got the, all right,